Hello and welcome to Virtual Learning Hub's presentation on handling information, legislation, policies and procedures. My name is Jasmine and I welcome you here to today's presentation. Please remember at the end to like, subscribe and comment. Okay, so let's get started. So when it comes to legislation, one more important factor is confidentiality. And confidentiality is the use of individuals' personal information in health and social care settings, which is protected. We're going to look at a quick video and which others have shared the reasons why they would like, or their understanding, should I say, of confidential matters and how they would like their information to be dealt with. So, those were some of the reasons and why we keep information confidentially and how it affects individuals personally. So, confidentiality is remembering to respect individuals' privacy in relation to their personal information, keeping all personal information secure, maintaining privacy when sharing and discussing individuals' personal information. We also have to ensure that we comply with legislative and organisational requirements and in upholding best practice standards when providing our care and support. And we can do this by respecting and upholding individuals' rights to privacy of information. The Care Act 2014, which consists of treating adults and ensuring that they have the right to access information held about themselves and to ensure that information held is accurate and up to date. Also, that personal information about individuals can be shared between organizations if necessary, and this should be on a needs to know basis. And if there are any safeguarding concerns, organizations must have agreed ways of working in place as well for sharing this information. The Health and Social Care Act 2012 details that personal information relating to individuals will be managed centrally to protect its confidentiality, that it will establish arrangements for the management of confidential information between health and social care organization, that it should establish arrangements for the management of confidential information from health and social care organizations to national providers such as the Department of Health and the Care Quality Commission, which also goes by CQC. The Data Protection Act 1998, this established the principles for information management. It permitted the sharing of information when necessary to prevent from harm or abuse, and permitted the sharing of information on a need to know basis only. It also required information to be up to date and maintained accurately and only for as long as required, and permitted the secure sharing of information. The Human Rights Act 1998. Article 8 of the Act established individuals' rights to privacy, including respect for all personal information. Individual rights to privacy must be upheld, except when there is a reason for sharing information about an individual, such as a crime has been committed, and not doing so may place the individual or others in danger or risk of being harmed or abused. Common law duty of confidentiality. Although maintaining confidentiality is very important, sometimes there is a justified reason to share information, i.e., when there are safeguarding concerns over an individual. A balance between maintaining an individual's confidentiality and what information is in the public interest to disclose where essential. The Caldecott Guardians. So, a Caldecott Guardian is a senior person responsible in a service or organization for protecting the confidentiality of individuals' information and enabling effective information sharing. So, let's look at some codes of practice and policies and procedures. We have the Health and Social Care Information Centre's Code of Practice on Confidentiality, the Information Governance Alliance Records, Management Code of Practice for Health and Social Care 2016, the confidentiality policies and procedures that should be in place in every health and social care setting. And these are documents that should be easily accessible. So, when we're thinking about codes of practice and confidentiality, we also have to remember that when we're gathering information, we need consent. So, firstly, we should obtain the individual's consent, and this can sometimes prove difficult. If an individual does not consent to disclosing the confidentiality information, then we have to respect that request as long as it's not going to put them in a position of abuse. And an individual does not have to, have if we should also, should I say, follow consent, or override maybe consent if an individual does not have the capacity to consent. So then we would escalate the matter and maybe talk to an advocate that can actually find out clearly if the individual does not want us to consent and that they understand fully. So, accessing records. Provision needs to be sought prior to accessing records and on a need to know basis, as mentioned before. Permission levels are set depending on the access requirements for different roles. So a manager will be different when gathering information, and this could be in regards to them having access to staff records, including application forms, sickness records, and supervisionary records, where a care assistant will not have that level of access. Accessing records. So others who require access to records must also have their identification verified to confirm they are who they say they are. This should be done in person or over the phone or email, providing details about who they are, why they require the information, and what organization they work for. Sometimes passwords are used with external agencies. Electronic records can be accessed via passwords. This is only the access is only gained to them via passwords, and these passwords may have different permission levels. Electronic records must also only be accessed in private, so i.e., where the information on the screen is not visible to others who do not have access to it. And screensavers could also operate when the person who's accessing the records has to leave the PC unattended. Paper records must also only be accessed in private or within the work setting where they are required. They may not be removed from the work setting or be viewed on public transport for confidentiality reasons and safety and protection of data. They should not be left out for others who do not have access to see them. So, how can we store records? Every health and social care setting will follow their own policies and procedures and protocols for storing records. Although procedures may vary, the principles of ensuring the security of data when storing records are the same. They should be stored in a timely manner and only for as long as necessary. They should be in line with agreed ways of working, and they should be only accessed by those that have permission to do so. They should be dealt with in a way that's consistent with teams' way of working and to ensure that all information required can be retrieved quickly and easily when required. So, in this lesson, we've currently covered about exploring and ensuring the security of data and how to ensure the security of data when sharing information. Types of records in health and social care that we may deal with and come into contact with are daily reports that indicate the care and support provided to individuals, the care and support plans, entries into fluid charts, menus, risk assessments, medical administration records, communication records such as those used with colleagues, individuals, families, and other health and social care professionals. Remembering that we should accurate that when we're recording information, that it should be accurate and based on factual information. We should fully gather all the details. The information must be relevant, includes relevant information only, and it should be timely, so recording as soon after the event as possible. Clarity should always be given to avoid any kind of misunderstandings. Refrain from using jargon, abbreviation, complex language. Avoid misunderstandings and confusion by giving clarity. Enable care practitioners to understand and meet individual needs, and enable the provision of consistent and high quality care. So, clarity is very important. Records must be based on facts, as mentioned before. The information should be clear and accurate. The facts should be supported with dates and accurate information. Personal opinions and judgments should not be made. Factual information should be focused on what actually happened rather than on what could have happened. Documents should be signed and dated. Signatures must be legible. Dates must be accurate. Allocation of signatures and dates must be in line with records and work setting requirements. Every health and social care setting will have developed their own records to meet the needs of the individual they provide services to, and using agreed formats involves complying with organisational and legal requirements. Every health and social care setting will have developed their own recording documents. Each will have a different purpose and require specific information that must be completed fully. Storing should be based on the duration that the data is agreed to be retained, and that will be based on organisational processes. A duty of care. So, remembering that we should be respecting individual rights and privacy and confidentiality, we should uphold individual rights and privacy and confidentiality, and to promote individuals' well-being. As providing duty of care is protecting individuals and others from danger, harm, and abuse, and acting in the public's best interest and promoting the individual's welfare. So, thank you for joining me today for this presentation. If you do need to contact, we have our website, which is www.vlhsolutions.com, and our email. We look forward to you returning again to